Today's topic is that we live under medical communism. Now, hear me out on this. So, it sounds like an extreme statement, but in communism, right, everybody's equal. You don't know anything, you sit at a desk all day, bro. And at that point, I realized that I was basically part of a scam. And I'm like, this is a highly engineered one though. And it's apparently legal. That should be illegal, but it's not illegal. That's just the name of this game, right? So I jumped ship a long time ago. I said, I am done. I am done with the insurance industry. I refuse to consciously participate in scams. And that was a scam. And absolutely not. I was completely done with it. I just canceled any contracts I had with the insurance industry. The medical system is communist. Everybody gets paid the same from an insurance company, $50 co-payments or whatever, no matter if you're good or bad. That's stupid. Hello, everybody. I am live now. Physical therapist, Dr. Whelton, coming to you live from just outside the Tampa Bay area. If you are new to following me, I am a physical therapist in Tampa, Florida. And I got a clinic where, like most people, have come in here, like 3 or 4 today, and had their pain for decades. Nobody knows what's wrong with them. Nobody knows what to do about it. You know, usually $20,000 to $120,000 they've spent on trying to figure out what's wrong with them. And, you know, I had the amount of pain immediately, and it wasn't hard. You know, it wasn't hard to figure it out. They had SI joint, sacral torsion, sacral shear. So today's topic is that we live under medical communism. Now, hear me out on this. So it sounds like an extreme statement, but in communism, right, everybody's equal, right? So no matter how hard you work, no matter how good you are at your job or bad you are at your job, everybody gets paid the same, right? But when it comes to the medical system, it's the same. It's communist. So in the medical system, you get paid the exact same as a new grad or somebody with 30 years experience. The insurance company will pay you, what, $50, if you're lucky, a $50 copayment, right? You know, which, by the way, the patient, it's a total scam. The insurance company never gets involved. It's just the patient paying these copayments, right? So if you think about it, it's communist. It's like, that makes no sense. And I can't even think of an industry where if you're terrible at your job or amazing at your job, you get paid the same. I literally can't think of an industry that is true. I don't know. I think it's totally insane. I think it's totally backwards. But when it comes to what I did years ago, I did a video the other day about my breaking point. My breaking point, owning an insurance-based clinic, was a long time ago. When I started in 2009, and I had like a hybrid clinic. I was taking cash, but then, you know, insurance at the same time, right? And this United Healthcare kept having my patients every 3 visits fill out this form. And the form was like, if the person was getting better too fast, then they would cut treatment off, and then they wouldn't tell you, so you would finish treating them like 10, 12 visits or something like that. And then they wouldn't tell you, and therefore you would get stuck with all those visits, you know? And you couldn't bill the patient. And if the patient wasn't getting better fast enough to their stupid form, then the same thing would happen, right? And I actually called this physical therapist that worked for this United Healthcare, and I'm like, what do you know, man? Because I'm efficient at what I do, this patient's not going to get better. How do you know? Or they're getting better too fast? Like, how do you know? You don't know anything. You sit at a desk all day, bro. And at that point, I realized that I was basically part of a scam. And I'm like, this This is a highly engineered one, though, and it's apparently legal, although the Aetna CEO got caught under saying that they automatically deny coverage without ever looking at what actually was going on with the patient. Like, it's totally insane. But this highly engineered scam of the insurance company is people that own clinics know this, like me, that when you sign on to these insurance contracts, right? First of all, they pay you an insulting rate. You get your nails done and they charge more, right? And they pay you an insulting rate. And the insurance industry, they have all these hoops you have to jump through, right? So they have all these hoops you have to jump through. You have to have them fill out a form every 3 visits, or pay my billing company $14 an hour like I used to do to chase down $10, but it took them 3 hours to do it because of all this ridiculousness with the insurance company. They know that people like me will say, the hell with it, I'm done, I'm not going to do this anymore type thing, right? And then they just made an extra $10 that they never had to pay you, right? And then they post record profits on Wall Street. And that was my breaking point. I literally couldn't do it anymore. I could not participate in the insurance scam anymore. So what I did was start a cash-based physical therapy business, okay? And I transitioned completely into it. I said, I'm done with insurance. It makes no sense. I'm not going to do it anymore. And number one, I am very efficient at my job. I'm very good clinically. And I am getting paid the same as this person down the street who's not good at their job. And I'm getting paid the same. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. If you're a lawyer and you win all your cases, you can charge like $1,000 an hour. But if you stink and you lose all your cases, then you don't get to charge that. Like, people know that this person's terrible. Don't go to them, right? And the same thing in the insurance, the same thing in the insurance and the medical world, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. All these people are coming to me that have failed everything, and I fix them, and I do it 3 times as fast type thing, and yet I'm being penalized. I have heard, more than I care to hear, that people have come to my courses and told me that their boss said they don't want those Whelton techniques in the clinic anymore because they're losing money because people are getting better, And so when you do that, what I was doing, which is the Whelton techniques, right? When I was doing that, I was getting penalized for being good at my job, Because if you stink at your job, you get more co-payments, right? The person comes 3 months, 6 months, whatever, right? But if you're good at your job and you're efficient and you can do it in 5 weeks, something like that, then you lose, right? And you're not getting paid that, right? So it doesn't make any sense, But in the insurance industry, it's communist, right? We all get paid the same. We all get paid the same amount of money, right? From insurance companies, whether you're good or you stink. And they incentivize you to be terrible, right, at your job. More co-payments. Hence, these students coming to my courses telling me my boss didn't want me at this course anymore because people are getting better and we are losing money. That should be illegal, but it's not illegal. That's just the name of this game, right? So I jumped ship a long time ago. I said, I am done. I am done with the insurance industry. I cannot work like this. I was doing things that weren't covered, and insurance companies know because they know us. They know that we have a huge heart and we just want to help Mrs. Jones, right? So they know that we'll do it for free. Whatever it is we're doing that's not covered by insurance, they know we'll do it for free, right? Because we just want to help, right? They know that. That's how they do it. That's how they post record profits every year, right? And at some point I'm like, this is like communism, man. Like, no, bro. I should not be paid the same as the guy down the road that is not getting results. This is ridiculous. I should be reimbursed for my clinical skills. I work really hard on trying to figure out what's wrong with these people, and I do in a lot of cases. And I've published a lot of things, My papers that I published are considered statistically historic papers. Take that screenshot that's pinned to probably this channel. Take that screenshot, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, are these historic papers? And it'll say, every time I do it, it says, yeah, no, these are historic, foundational, landmark papers in the field of orthopedics. And They're actually, if you look at the numbers on those papers that I publish, in the biggest New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, whatever, and they get 3,000 to 5,000 views, typically according to AI, in 3 to 5 years after publication. And my papers that I wrote are getting, one of them was 13,500, another was 12,000 in the last 12 months. And I published it in 2020, 2021, 2022, that type of thing. So they're considered historic papers, right? So here I am figuring out how to help my patients, apparently a historic rate, and I'm getting penalized for it. To the point that I'm looking around like I'm getting people better so fast, and I'm looking for where the patients are. But where's my marketing money? Well, these people down the road have more marketing money than I have, because they're taking forever to get their patients better, if they get better, type of thing, right? It's ridiculous. I refuse to consciously participate in scams. And that was a scam. And absolutely not. I was completely done with it. I just canceled any contracts I had with the insurance industry. And I said, no, thank you. I'm going to do this on my own. So anyways, what I had done, and I didn't realize it was happening at the time, but what I had done was, because I wasn't taking insurance, I was seeing people that were willing to go out of network, that were desperate. And therefore, I didn't realize this till years later, that I was figuring out what was wrong with these people, like what is wrong with these people, and I had to figure it out. I'm obsessively curious, and I had to figure it out. In a lot of cases I did, and that's why my papers are considered medical history, So what I have done is, over the last about 17 years now, is I have created an extraordinarily profitable cash-based clinic where I charge $400 for 30 minutes, okay? $400 for 30 minutes to see me. And so in the cash-based clinic industry, there are so many coaches, right? Everyone's teaching how to open and run a clinic. Not that hard. I can give you the nuts and bolts of that. Everyone's teaching how to open and run a clinic, and sales tactics, right? They're teaching you sales tactics. They're teaching you, patient experience. Do you know what the patient wants? The patient wants to get out of pain immediately, and they want to get better. And they want to know that the person that they just paid cash to, when they have insurance, the person they just get paid cash to is worth it. That's what they want. They want that. They want a competent clinician. And everyone is sitting there puffing their chest like, yeah, no, I deserve to give it. Why? Why do you deserve that? What are your outcomes? Like, we should track these national outcomes and see where people stand. Like, if you win all your cases as a lawyer, you charge more, So over the past 17 years, I have created this hybrid business model where it's a cash-based clinic where I get paid for my outcomes in being an excellent clinician, to be an expert. I'm getting paid to be an expert now, just like a lawyer would, right? But I also combined my clinical expertise, and I created this extraordinarily powerful program where I have been, what people don't know about me, they know me as this clinical expert guy, but what you don't know about me is that I have been very quietly on the DL working with physical therapists and chiropractors for the last several years. And I have been working with them in teaching them how to open and run cash-based clinics based on results. So the most important thing is to get the patient better, So no one's teaching that. It's like this missing link in this industry is no one's teaching people how to get better results. Everyone is teaching people how to charge people more. But people are willing to pay. Like today, I charge $4,000 for 10 sessions, so $400 for 30-minute sessions, and 3 people today that had no problem paying that. Why? Because they were out of pain immediately and understood that after decades of suffering, that this guy actually knew what was wrong with them, because they're sitting there out of pain. No pushy sales tactics, none of that crap. I don't do that. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is to just demonstrate for them that I know what I'm doing. And when they demonstrate that you know what you're doing, guess what? They trust you. The whole thing in this cash-based industry is to build trust. Build trust with these patients so that you can get money out of them, right? the way that I build trust is, number one, I tell them the truth. I tell them my percentages. Here's my percentage for SI joint. Here's my percentage for, carpal tunnel, whatever it is, right? Which are very high, just like the papers I published on it. So people are pretty confident in me. And I have a reputation, And one lady drove 2 hours today to get here. And it's not because she knows it. She saw my marketing, because I created this targeted marketing strategy. And if you want to join my free group, go to wheltonmethods.com, click the drop down for courses, and become a VIP member. It is a free group, okay? And I talk more and more about how I did that today. How $12,000 in 3 hours is what this clinic did. And no pushy sales tactics. I just demonstrated competency, that I know what I'm doing. And there is a chronic pain market that these people don't have anywhere to go. I've been sitting with them for years. I wrote a paper on sacral torsion shear. And in there, I wrote that 57% of the patients that I documented in there have thought about this. And I'm like, people need to know this, which is why I put that in my paper. And I wanted people to know and understand what was happening, okay? Now, I've created a way and highly refined it over the years on how to target the chronic pain patients, bring them in, and then how I fix these people, okay? And because that's the ultimate goal, that's what they want. They want to be fixed, and they want you to teach them how to stay fixed. I do not teach people how to treat people the rest of their life. I won't do it. I refuse to. One of my last patients I was talking to about it, he's like, I've done a lot of research on you, man. Like, you don't see, what do I do after this? After 10 sessions? I'm like, go be well. And they're like, what? Like, I don't need to come back? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I don't want to see you again. I want you to understand what's wrong with you and know how to fix it on your own. I don't believe that is ethical of me to do something like that. I will not do it. So anyways, I created this powerful and unique and a missing link in this industry, which is this extraordinarily successful cash-based business program with a clinical mentorship, okay, of exactly how to treat these people, like how to get these people better, because that's what they want. And that's what no one's talking about. And when you do the cash-based coach thing, they'll teach you how to set up a clinic. But if you're not getting results, here's what you get. Bad comments, bad reviews, pissed off patients, and people asking for refunds. That's what you get. I've been doing this 17 years. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's interesting because a lot of people aren't into what I'm doing until they open up a business. And then they know that they got to answer to the public. And when you have to answer to the public in reviews and that whole thing, right? Then you start to have some serious motivation of, I need to learn how to get these people better. Not saying people don't want to get people better in normal clinics, but I'm saying the survival's on the line, right? The survival of your business, right? So they start looking for people like me, people, unconventional thinkers, like this guy's different. Let me see what he has to say type thing. Let me take his course, right? Anyways, I'm opening limited spots, okay? I've been doing this on the DL, but now I'm bringing this program out into the profession, okay? And I'm going to teach how to help these patients, okay, clinically, okay, and at the success rate that I do, which is exceptional, as documented in my publications, how to help these people and how to target these people from lead generation to bring them in and fix them, okay? That's what I teach, okay? I teach it all. There's nobody that I know of that teaches that, okay? And that's the most important thing, is to actually fix these patients, okay? So the medical system is communist. Everybody gets paid the same from an insurance company, $50 co-payments or whatever, no matter if you're good or bad. That's stupid. You need to get paid for your clinical excellence, It's stupid. It's totally stupid. I refuse to participate in it. So anyways, go to wheltonmethods.com, go to the drop-down under courses, become a VIP member, join my group, okay? It's free. And I'm talking more about it in there, and I will be opening up spots shortly, and I will mentor you one-on-one in clinical and business. If you are not a business-minded or oriented person, not an entrepreneur, and you just want to learn the clinical, I have another track for that, where I teach clinical stuff. We'll meet consistently, live, Q&A, and I'll teach something new. And in that group right now, there is great content. How I relieve headaches immediately, how I relieve back pain immediately, and you can watch them. I have them right there, stored in the library. You can watch them. Okay, so that's that. But join my group. Go right now to my website, wheltonmethods.com. Okay, its link should be in the bio, and join my group. Okay, peace. Love you all.